Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Crazy Captain XP11. Today's video will be about colon dog start procedure tutorial for Boeing 757-200-300 from Flight Vector. It is a payaway aircraft and is worth every penny. It is a best flight. Experience is very good. Love this aircraft, and all you XP fans probably have it already or somebody was purchased. So I decided let's go ahead and make a brand new tutorial for 2021. I'm not gonna do an XP11 start procedure. I'm gonna do an original starting procedure of Boeing 757, and I'm gonna explain to you how we actually crank up the aircraft and get it all prepped for loading. So follow me into the cockpit and I'll start from there. Now that you're inside your cockpit, you can go ahead and go from the top panel because we're going to work our way. We don't go from one panel to second to third to fourth, fifth. Basically, we're going to start with the left panel right over here, work our way to the left, and then skip and come into the middle, work all the way down, work on the right one, and start this one and the last. So every airline company runs a different type of procedures. Everybody starts their own way. So I'll start you up explaining everything one by one. So we're going to start with the middle one. We're going to start with this little button right here. We're going to bring it to the arm position and close the canopy on that. What this does is this is your emergency lighting system. You armed it so it's on. So it lights up the cabin hallway. It lights up emergency lights, catwalk gets lit up. So in case of smoke, electrical loss or engine loss, you'll be able to see when everything goes dark. It lights up so you can see your exit routes. So that'll be the very first one, and we stop right over there. So we come right over here. Now before you turn on your battery, you have to turn the switch to battery position. That's where we want to keep it because we're going to be using today's battery juice to start up the aircraft. So let's see how much power do we have. So we press on that and we just wait a little bit. Now the power came on. It looks like it's good enough power to run all the panels, so juice looks good in it. So I got 2.2 pounds of fuel in here, so I'm not gonna worry about it. That's plenty enough for my APU to start it up. I'm gonna have a warning sign, don't worry about it. So you're gonna come straight down, go to APU. You don't need to press anything right now. Although the ground power is available, I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna click the APU to start position. Now I'm going to take you outside and show you what it is. Now do you hear that engine spooling right now? All that fuel dumping in there. Do you see this intake right over here that's opened up? That's for your APU. APU basically is your third engine behind the tail. When you go to the airport, you hear a lot of hissing sound of an engine. That's not your main engines that's running. That's the one in the tail. It's a very small engine, about, I would say, the size of two generators put on top of each other. That's what it is. It runs about 600 horsepower. It gives you power for electric and hydro. I'll take you in the back over here. Come a little bit closer. Now, do you see these two doors right over here? That's where it's sitting. The technician opens that one up and the mechanic takes that one down and replaces it if it needs replaced. So that's where your third engine is. Let's go back into the cockpit. So now it's telling me it's in a run position, so it's all good. So now I'm going to turn on the point up there. It's not going to light up. You leave it on the battery. The only time you're going to go auto is when you turn on your engines. That's when you take the power away from the battery and it goes auto. That means it's going to start taking all the electric power from the engines. I'm going to come to APU generator. You turn on that bus tie. Come on down, get the utility bus started. And then you come on down and get these two right over here. Now when you set up over here, I'll take you in the middle right now. The captain and first officer is dark. So basically, when you're going to turn on your bus tie, when you click on this, it's going to start up. It takes time to start up the screens. You'll hear a lot of clicking in the realistic aircraft. A lot of panels doing self-test, running everything over there. So that's what you hear. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on. Let's take a look again. You'll see I got the power over here. Go back on top for the first officer. And I got remaining hydro, so the entire aircraft now has power from those bus ties. So you stop right there. Check on it. Perfect. Beautiful. And come right on top. Now what I'm going to do is come straight down and light up the lights. You want your cockpit to be looking like a Christmas tree at dark time when it gets night. Come on up to the GPS. We're going to turn those in the middle. Start the communication of the aircraft with your hub. So the gets communication, gets all the files, data and everything from the hub, and hub gets all the information for your aircraft. So while it's going to take about 7 minutes for them to communicate, we're going to leave those alone and come on straight into the middle. None of these I'm going to touch, none of those I'm going to touch. I'll have to wait for the aircraft to start the engine and then start the NTI system because it won't work before that. Come on down to your position lighting. You turn these two panels on. Your wing and your position lights are on. Do not turn on your red or white yet. White is when you're loading the aircraft. Red is when you're about to start the engine. That's indication to the ground people that step away from the aircraft. It's about to start. So we leave those alone. Come on up. Yep. It's cold outside. I need the window heating. In the summertime you really don't. You turn the middle. Come on down. Yep. Turn on your smoking and seatbelt signs on. Come on to your cabin pressure. Bring it to 1 or auto 2. You're good at 2000. Perfect. You don't need to do anything. Equipment cooling. Yes. And once again, we're going to do the final lighting. And light it all up. Get more brighter. And get my back door open up. Now we're going to come to the climate control system. Just like the AC in your car, we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to get a power from APU. Do isolation. Come on to the trim air. And sometimes we want to keep it warm if it's like winter outside, or we bring it a little bit over here to have our own cooling, but we like to leave it onto the computer. It does the adjustment as it's the aircraft is climbing with the cabin pressure. It adjusts everything. So I'm going to go ahead, start up the pack and get all that ready. Now the back interior is all lit up. My crew is coming in and they're setting everything up right now for the passengers. They're making sure all the seats are good, clean, everything's taken care of by the maintenance. So we're all good. Come onto the front panel. I don't need the mat yet, but I am going to lit up the panel a little bit. There we go. When it gets dark, I'm going to have the map on and the floodlight before I start going. I'm still going to light it up because it's going to get dark pretty soon. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and tell my crew to start boarding. Let's get this plane loaded. I'm going to come straight down to the ground. For me, I got gate config, fuel truck, and chocks ready. My pushback plan is already planned and ready. For the pushback truck, I'm going to go ahead and do the RTO. I'm going to leave my brakes right over there. Comfortable, I'm going to release the chocks. So right now, today I'm taking about 195 passengers on board and 6,000 pounds, which is good. Those are your passenger luggage as well as cargo. The airline makes revenue out of mostly from the cargo. 40,000 fuel, that'll be good enough for my destination, and reserve fuel just in case if I miss approach or there's a bad weather on the way there. I might have to deviate to a different airport, so I need extra fuel to get there. I don't want to be stranded. So let's go ahead and start boarding. So now, until the people are going to get loaded, I'm going to leave that right over there. I'm going to come to my FMC and prepare my all initial flight plans now. So you go to FMC, post initial. I got to update the data, right? It's been a while. Okay. So I'm at KMCO, which is Orlando Bloom. Orlando International. Sorry. And I'm going to get the GPS set up. Right down here. Right. I'm going to go into the route. Now, you will put KMC on the origin and wherever your destination is over here, your flight number. But I have everything set up for Orlando to New York, to JFK. So I'm going to put that in my call route. I got my flight number DL1011 from Orlando to JFK. And so the route loaded, clear, activate. Today I'm going to be going from 36 right, so I'm going to get that in. 36 right, set that up. Preference initial, come right over here. The aircraft's getting loaded. Reserve, I'm going to take about 8 pounds. I'm going to press on that. I'm not going to press any on the top button. Don't press it yet because your fuel's getting loaded. You got to wait. Today I'm going to be cruising at 28,000 feet with a cost index of 40. Now I do all my setup from Navigraph, and I plan everything from my stars to my chart. Everything's done from there, and I imported it. It's a little strange to import. It's really difficult. I'll show you in a different video next time I'm going to make for FNC. If you're doing same brief, it's easy to bring it in, put in FPL folder. It's done right now in 2021. It's kind of different now. I'll show you how to do that. It's not the same as everyone's doing. It took me time to figure out. Now I'm gonna go over to takeoff. I'm gonna set up the flap to 5. My thrust to toga will be about 25% before I'm gonna go ahead with toga. Down here, your CG Mach weight is about 14. That's what you're gonna put right in there, and it's gonna set up your trim. Our trim is set as 5.1. I'm gonna wait for fuel to be completely loaded till I'm gonna tell the computer to go ahead and tell me what is gonna be my speed setting. I'm gonna press the next page. So wind today is about 005 -02. It's not too windy out for me today. Outside temperature is about 35 Celsius. So we got that set up. Come on, back to previous page. And I'm just waiting for that. Go on top and see. 4 more pounds to go for the fuel in the middle, and I'll be in for reserve, and I'll be good. While I'm waiting for fuel, I do a little tweaking on the FMC. If I want to change a little bit of a designation, do a different approach, so I do a little bit of tweaking on my own. Everybody can do it. It's very easy. I'll show you in the FMC procedure. Okay, we are loaded. Get to the white light and go ahead, select on. You got your V1, VR, and V2 reference already set up. I'm gonna go around back, click on the first one. You got your weight and everything set up. Go to takeoff, everything's good. Execute, complete. Go to your menu and close the FMC. Got a minute before I'm gonna have communication with the hub. Everything's gonna show up on my screen right here. It's nothing right now, and all of a sudden you're gonna see your route pretty soon. Click on that one. And go ahead and tell them to remove the trucks, fuel, and gate config. I'm gonna start the closing of the doors. So I'm gonna tell my crew to door to auto.
Attention all flight attendants, doors to automatic.
I'm gonna say welcome to people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain and crew would like to welcome you on board this Boeing 757-300 airliner. If you haven't already done so, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you, or in an overhead bin. The flight crew will do everything possible to make your flight comfortable and enjoyable. Xplane.org, Step to Sky, and Flight Factor.
Grounded cockpit, tail is driving up.
Alright, I've ordered my pushback now. Oh, I got communication. There you go. I am linked, set up. And now I'm gonna go to the SAMS airport operation, and I'm gonna tell them to move the gate, please. It's all done. I love this the new system for SAMS. It's $20. It makes all the airport ramp work. Look at that. You really don't need to download so many files and then one by one work on the plugins. You know, get them all set up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the SAMS main utility manager does everything for you. So I like it. The best software.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
I'm set with that one. Let me get the pad out, and I'm gonna check the airplane. Everything is closed. I am ready to go. Ground, everything is clear. Beauty. Come on back on top. You're gonna go ahead and start the bust ice for fuel. And get all the fuel starting, running into the engine ports. Whatever guys you do, you see these two drive service discs right here? Don't press this utility.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Roger. You don't want to press these two, because if you do, everything shuts down, and man, do you get in trouble with the company. Or if they dock your pay, goes into your file, you get into a lot of trouble. So let's leave it on to that. Now, I'm going to go ahead, release the brakes, and start the procedures for starting. Alright, release the brakes, go back on top.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
The pack is shut down. Alright. Now we're gonna go ahead, limit our starters. Go to engine 2, start that up. Start the red light, let them know you're starting the engines. And now we're gonna go down to ground. Come on to the middle. I'm gonna bring this screen out for you. Now what we are looking for, you see this thing? When it's gonna come, your RPM is gonna reach this red dot right here. You're gonna insert fuel. And there you go, it's crossing that. I'm gonna insert fuel now. Beautiful start. Now you want your RPM to reach 10. When it does, you hit the run buttons. So you just wait, 7.8, going up, 8, 9, and 10. Ignite. Beautiful start. Come right back on top. It's on auto now. We are set. We're gonna take the starter to engine number 1 now. We always start engine number 2. And the same procedure you're gonna follow for this one as well. It's starting to turbine starting to move. We reaches that point right there. Again, you're gonna insert fuel. Beautiful start. Gonna wait for the RPM to reach 10. And run it. There you go. Your engines are all pumped and ready to go. Come right back on top. I'm gonna bring the ignition to both. Leave it right there. It's all set. I'm gonna press the black button right here. That's what it does. Go to auto. Your climate control is on now. I can go ahead, turn your NTIs in the wings. She's still backing this up. That is good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the yaw dampers on. We're going to come down and get the hydraulic power system on. Now we're giving power to the hydraulic system, so we're going to say go ahead. Start them up. They're all starting up one by one. And now the engine started, we're gonna go ahead, take the battery and switch it to auto. It comes straight down to APU. You can go ahead, close off the APU, we don't need it no more. It did its job.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Roger, setting parking brake. Let's set up the parking brake now. Bingo, there you go.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Roger, well she's gonna be disconnecting the tow. I am gonna switch to hydraulic system. I don't have the pedals set up yet or the joystick, so I'm just gonna use the joystick to show you guys. There you go, you're checking your hydraulic system right there. Showing perfect, done, finish. Click it back to the engines. You got parking brakes and FMC message is gonna be telling me minor snap. Yep, clear that. And I'm done. I'm waiting for her to disconnect. While you're doing that, go to PA. Run the safety system.
Ladies and gentlemen, we request your full attention.
Tow
as
is
the flight
disconnected
attendants
and bypass bin has been
demonstrate
removed.
the safety features
Hand
of the
signal on the
seat.
right. We'll see you
When
next
the
time
seatbelt
and have a
sign
safe flight.
illuminates, You
Right,
must
thank you.
fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fittings one into the other, and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion
Alright,
of the buckle.
now your
We
tug is
suggest
gone.
that you keep your
Come on,
seatbelt
right back on
fastened
for the
throughout
final.
the flight, as we may
Gonna turn on
experience turbulence.
your main nose gear
The
lights
Boeing
on.
757
With the nose gear, you're
200
gonna turn
airliner
on
has
the
10 emergency exits.
runway light,
Four
and when you
forward,
reach the
two
runway,
aft,
you turn them
and
off
two
and turn
over
on
each
your runway
wing.
lights.
Please take a few moments now to
So,
locate
that's
your
all there
nearest
is to the
exit.
procedure.
In some cases, your
You're
nearest
perfect,
exit may be
everything is
behind
running,
you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft,
everything is
full
on.
level lighting will guide you towards
Do a
the
final
exit.
checking. Your
Doors
checklist
can
is
be
going to be
opened
complete
by
now.
moving the handle in the
Everything is
direction of
set
the
up.
arrow. Each door is equipped with an
All your bus tie,
inflatable
everything
slide,
is ready.
which may
Your
also be
GPS is
detached
connected.
and used as a life
Your
raft.
hydraulics are running,
Oxygen
and that's
and the
it.
air pressure
That's
are
your
always
starting
being
procedure.
monitored. In the event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and breathe normally.
Is it all
Although
working
the
okay?
bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a
Okay,
child or someone who
start that
requires
now.
assistance, secure your mask.
Thank you. Well, this is it, people. This is how you start up your aircraft. It's all ready to go. Everything's punched in. And that's how you start. And now all you have to do is go to the runway and get the clearance and take off. Well, if you like my video tutorial for today, please do press the like button and do subscribe. I'll be bringing more videos out for you all. I'm gonna do a couple more videos and I'm gonna do a couple of flights. If everything goes good, then I'm gonna purchase the new Airbus from Flight Factor, and I'm gonna learn and put out more videos on the Airbus. So till then, all your XP fans, enjoy this aircraft, fly high in the sky, stay safe.